Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. This is my favorite time of year. It's a love hate
It
relationship these
is. It
days.
is.
But we are in election season, and this is our election segment. We're trying to hear from as many people as we can. We've got Nathan Sanders here, and Nathan is running for a very important position. They're all important, but the county clerk position in Grundy County. Nathan, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Ava. Thank you for having me here.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate it.
Well, I know everyone knows you. I mean, but we're a small
Sort of.
community.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure I treat this as fair as everyone else because we've known each other forever.
Right.
Is tell the folks out here who might not know you a little bit about yourself and why you decided to run for office.
Well, my name is Nathan Sanders. I am been a lifelong resident of Grundy County, living in Grootly Logger for almost 41 years. Except for what little time I was away at school, and my parents are the late Michael and Melody Sanders. My grandparents are Charles Brewer and the late Evelyn Brewer. My grandmother, she was I joke because I say, I've been in the courthouse a little bit all my life because my grandmother used to be I guess they call it the night magistrate for the circuit court clerk's office.
Oh wow!
Yeah, she would do. People would actually come to her house and get warrants. The police officers would come and get warrants signed. So, and then she would have to go to the courthouse and turn all that in. So I've had a little bit of the courthouse in me for 41 years. So, but she passed away in 21, and very important role model in my life. And the of course, sort of the things that she kind of handed down to me is what led me to love my job that I have now, and kind of want to go in a little different direction to serve the people of Grundy County because I've chose this as my home. I never plan on leaving it, and so why not serve the people because we've got some of the greatest people in the world around here.
Amen. Oh my gosh, amen. All right, well, we've agreed on questions. We kind of changed this up. I had posted on the fabulous social media Facebook about things to ask a local candidate. And so Nathan has taken this very seriously and he'd like to answer these questions.
Sure.
Is that right? All
yes,
right.
sir. Yes, ma'am.
So the first question is, what is your experience related to the job you are seeking?
Okay. First and foremost, when you talk about my experience, my greatest experience has been in the county mayor's office. I've worked in the county mayor's office for almost 16 years. And in that, one of the things that helped me so much with that is when I started way back when, I kind of went in totally blindsided. I had no training, and I learned it from the inside out. And I think that's made me a stronger employee for the county mayor's office and the county, learning it that way because I've been able to take and as I learn and build on it. And, each year things change all the time. Rules and regulations change, the things we have to go by, but um, we've gained a great understanding of how things work, how things are supposed to work. And that's the number one for my experience. We have, so with the years there, I have not set budgets. The county commission and the county mayor work together, and they set the budget. But then it comes to me, and I compile it because it has to be compiled in a certain way to be submitted to the state comptroller's office for approval. Because we can't start operate even after the commission passes the budget. We can't technically start operating on it until after the comptroller gives their approval. So I have done, with that being said, this will be almost starting 16 budgets that I've compiled. And the great thing about that is in 16 budgets, I mean, we've had to make a couple changes when we send to the state that they would, but we've never had a single budget rejected. Everything always adds up, everything always, and that's an effort of working together, of course, but you got to make sure that everything balances, everything adds up. So, a little about myself personally. I am a 2004 graduate of Grundy County High School. I am a 2008 graduate of Tennessee Tech University, Cookeville. And I hold a Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Administration and with a concentration major in finance. That was my department that I was concentrated in. As far as related to the job, I have worked with the county clerk's office a lot with getting them minutes. We kind of work hand in hand on different things with the county mayor's office. Direct experience, the county clerk's office deals with a lot on the Department of Revenue, on getting tag. Of course, you get your tags and everything there. So I know a little bit about that because my grandfather was a self-employed truck driver for many, many years. And so I was kind of his unofficial bookkeeper of sorts. And during that time, we got versed on how, because he had an apportioned tag on his truck because he run over state lines. So that's a tag that you can't just go out here and get at the county clerk's office. You have to apply with the state. And I learned how to do all that because, there's requirements. You have to be able to have everything in line before you can get your tags. You, for example, a truck driving company has to pay their Form 2290, which is road use tax, before they're eligible to get their tags. Have to disclose their mileage and all sorts of things. And working with things like that I think has allowed me to see kind of the need maybe for even truck drivers in our county that are having trouble getting that. I can help them to try to pace that process and see how they can get their tags, and maybe not necessarily from me. Although, I am not sure of the processes, but I would like to eventually, if the state ever allow it, to maybe the local truck drivers could come to our county clerk's office to get their apportion tags. I don't know if that's, we always dealt with the state, but if that was ever an option, I would love to see that here in Grundy County.
We have a lot of truck drivers here, and that would be
we sure do, and that would be a great thing for them to have. Get back on track. We work a lot with grants, of course, in the county mayor's office. One of the great things that we've been working on here lately is, of course, the Miracle on the Mountain. And, I am so glad that Grundy County's got something like that because, like I said, I'm calling this home. And, it makes me proud to be able to say, we've got an all-inclusive park for kids to be able to come and play, no matter what disability they have. And, one of my jobs, I work more on the bookkeeping side of the county mayor's office. My coworker Lori, she does vendor payments and that sort of thing, and I do more of the bookkeeping aspects. So we have to balance monthly and yearly with the trustee. The trustee takes in the money, simply put, and we spend the money. But at the end of the day, our books have to reflect what his balances are, and his balances reflect what we are. So it's all a check and balance system. And one of the things that I do is monthly and yearly of the balance, and we have 7 funds that we just in the mayor's office. And I like to tell people it's like looking at 7 different checkbooks. And the audit requires that those have to balance in some form or fashion. And if they don't, you have to find why. So, and that's a good experience too, because in the county clerk's office, I'll be able to, if there's something that goes wrong or something, we need to sit down and look at it and make sure and take care of it first thing. One other thing, and I'll get back on track here. One thing, I'm sorry, but
there's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot
seriously.
to talk about. And another thing, and I've put this out in a video on Facebook before, managerial experience is so imperative for any county official to have. I'm talking county clerk, county mayor, trustee. I mean, it don't matter what it is. You've got to be able to manage a staff. You've got to be able to see what their needs are, and they're your support team, and you've got to be able to help them and take care of them. And I've worked with another responsibility of mine. I do a lot of the HR in the mayor's office, and I'll be able to help them with questions they might have on their personal income taxes or whatever, as I've seen it working in the mayor's office. And a good official like that needs to be able to have some sort of managerial experience.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense.
So,
All right, you ready for the next question?
yes, ma'am.
All right, here we go. What are your goals related to that position?
I want the ultimate. If I had to sum it up in one statement, the ultimate thing that I want to have in that position. I want Grundy County to have the best county clerk's office in the state of Tennessee.
Amen.
There is no reason why our little county full of wonderful people could have the same services that some of these bigger counties have. And I feel like that we have the potential to have one that our citizens are proud of, and that our state maybe looks at to try to better themselves. One of the things I want to do, of course, until I get in there, and I've been talking with folks about things they'd like to see in the county clerk's office, and I want to see what the needs are that people services they may need locally, and I want to try to tailor that to be able to get those type of services. One thing that I've really been thinking about is I want to bring a new level of transparency. I feel like that's very important. One of the major responsibilities of the county clerk is to keep the minutes of the county commission. I mean, you have your daily office operations, but after hours, when these commissioners and the mayor are coming together, they have the responsibility of keeping the minutes. Our commission makes some tough decisions sometimes, and those decisions, they dictate our everyday lives as Grundy Countyans. And the decisions they make are put to record by the county clerk. They have to be accurate. They have to be thorough. They have to be on point, because we refer back to them for audit. One of the first things auditors do when they come to our office and start auditing our books is they start referring back to county minutes. Was this approved? Was this not? How was it approved? You take it, for instance, the county commission, they say, oh, we're going to buy a new truck. They want to, your minutes need to reflect, was there a motion made to bid the truck out? What was the decision of the commission? What fund did they want it to come from? Did they want to finance it? If they finance it, if it's if the financing of the vehicle is going to be over the bid limit, we're going to have to bid out the financing for it. And just things like that. And each step of that needs to be accurately recorded, because when the audit comes in, they're going to say, well, y'all are going to buy a truck. Well, how are you going to do it? And we've went and bought this truck, and they said, well, did you follow the procurement process? What the county commission wishes were, did you follow it? If the minutes don't have all that in it, it's kind of like a questionable. Well, did we not? And that's it just needs to be very detailed, very accurate. And another thing that I want to do is digitize the minutes. I want to make them available 24/7 to everybody. People in state, in county, out of county. They can pull them up. They can see what's going on in Grundy County. What is the business at hand that these commissioners and the mayor are dealing with, to make sure that we are taken care of. And I want to do those in-house. I want to, because I feel like doing them in house would make um, the detail more important. You know, paying attention to what's going on and what is very important. Um, Looking at every avenue to see with the assistance of that. You know, I've been looking at some other counties' websites and um, the way they digitize theirs and lay them out. You know, and I want to have something that is easy for them to get on there, the citizens to get on there and search these things out, and it'll help businesses. They can get on there and see if there's been things that decisions made that may affect their business. Um, Maybe legal attorneys can search it and not have to come into the office. And I mean, um, hard record is great, and I would still do that. But it's all about making in today's world. It's all about making convenience because we're all so pressed for time, and if someone can just on their own time search out something instead of having to make a trip to Altamont and do it, it's that's the great thing. So, also one thing that I'm working on, and I think it's a great thing. I've been trained on. The county has a new system in the courtrooms, and of course that's where the county commission meetings are. And it's a new recording software, and it's called it's with 323 Link, and it is a Panopto recording process.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. But one of the things, not only but does it do recordings that if the commission wishes to do that of meetings for the public, can be put on Facebook or whatnot. But it also does audio recording, and it as it audio records, it simultaneously dictates so every word in that meeting is captured. And I think that would be great because maybe when I get back to my computer and I'm working on minutes, I'm be like, what did Commissioner Gibbs say about this motion? Who made this motion? Did Commissioner Lusk make it? I can just refer back to that, and it's going to have it word for word on there. So I think that'll be great. So
we have to embrace technology.
You do, and I mean sometimes technology kind of surprises you, but in some cases like that, it's very helpful.
Amen.
Very helpful. So.
Any other goals other than that? Those are pretty lofty.
I just want to be a good county clerk. I know that I will have a learning curve, but my goal is to be possibly the best. I know nobody's best but the good man upstairs, but I want to do the best I can for these people because in a way these people are my family.
Amen.
And I'm taking care of them.
Amen. So. Beautiful. All right. What leadership positions have you held?
When I was thinking about this question, I was thinking leadership is not necessarily the lady or gentleman at the top of the totem pole. Leadership to me is those that get down in the trenches and work with you just as much as the ones directing you. And I believe that a leader is not the person in front of you. It's not the person behind you. It's one right beside you. And one of my leadership, and I feel like is the most important, is besides what we've talked about in the county mayor's office and assisting him maybe when he's out of town with meetings and whatnot, is the leadership I've had just in the community. Maybe not necessarily a tailored leadership, but a leadership that my family, my friends, I've had, and a lot of people say, this is a hardship, but I've had the honor of my dad, my mom, and my grandmother, all developed health issues and passed away, but I had the honor of taking care of them. And I feel like that people in healthcare, I mean, full respect for them because, being able to care for somebody like that to me is a leader in their own household. And I feel like that working and doing that is one of my greatest accomplishments as a leader. I've held the treasurership at our church um, probably 16, 17 years. So, and I took it over from a gentleman who had it probably 50 years. He was 92, and he said that he thought time was it, so I helped them with that. And I just I feel like that when you look around Grundy County, there's leaders in every situation because we get such a bad rep about the things that are going on or the things that are happening. And when if you just sit down and just look around, you see all these people helping each other. You see strangers come together. And one thing I always remember, of course, Dr. Harbaugh back when he was around, and his car got stolen in Altamont. With I I don't remember the exact, but I've like 2 or 3 days. Grundy County bought him a car. And that's leaders in this community. You think what you're doing in aspect of the community is not that much, but if you really sit down and look at yourself, you're probably a leader in some sort. So that's my to me that's my greatest leadership role is just being a worker alongside people because I love to help people and with my family, just taking care of them.
All right, you can make. He made me bring a tear earlier.
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I've cared for at least 3 of my elders. I'm an only child.
Say I am too.
And you're.
I am too. I am too.
So you step up.
Yeah.
There is no choice.
Yeah.
And it's a worthy goal.
Only child, only grandchild, Iva.
Oh, you have some, and you've done it. It's good for you. All right, let me find my questions. You got me a little teared up there.
I'm sorry.
All right, so here we go. Such a good point. All right. Here's an important thing, a super important thing, especially in our world. We have a lot of clans, a lot of different flavors.
Right.
What do you have experience working as a team?
Absolutely. Kind of a lot of these questions kind of cross boundaries with each other, but one of the things I have experience with working as a team is in the county mayor's office. We each have our jobs. Our own responsibilities, but it takes each of us working together to maintain the common goal. We there's leadership. Michael is leadership of our office. Lori takes care of vendor payments and other aspects. She keeps us in line. She's very organized. So, and then we all work together to achieve a common goal. And I think that is one of the major things in a county office, going back to any office, is being able to have a team and work well together, love each other, and in the fun times enjoy it, and in the hard times comfort each other and build each other up. Because so many times people, if they disagree, they tear each other down, and we get so much more accomplished when if we disagree, we agree to disagree, but find a common ground and build that up. Because I've seen it, and going back to like my grandmother, she always told me, she's like, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. And for me working or running for county clerk's office, I fully realize I'm going to need a great team. And there's a great team there. And I just, I think when I think about that, Iva, I think about being in the analogy of a table. The county officials may be the tabletop, but his or her support staff are the leg. They hold them up. And, working as a great team, everybody wins. And so I have worked with them in the county mayor's office a whole lot for teamwork. teamwork is necessary to achieve anything in life. We have our personal victories, and that's wonderful. But 90%, I feel like 90% of folks, when they have achieved something or achieved a goal, that part of the success of that goal is having a great team behind you. And we work hard individually, but without a good support system, that's like me. I had through life, I had a great support system, getting my education and everything, and that's what it takes for a team to be successful, is to have great.
True story. All right, we're getting towards the end. Second to last question, and it does. You're right. These all kind of intersect, don't they?
Yeah.
And especially true right now. What prepares you for the beating you will take from the public, and how will you handle folks who disagree with you?
That's a very interesting question. All my life, workforce life has been in the public. Started out working for the bank while I was in college, and then I worked for a few years for a private company, still selling it, and it was a wholesale company, so I still dealt with public. And for the past 16 years, I've been at the county mayor's office, so that's definitely a public office. I know people have different opinions, and I want to be the type of county clerk, the type of county official that listens to people. I want them, if they're coming in, they're having a bad day, let's just sit down and talk about it. If I've done something wrong, I want to make it right. And I want to be able to spread positive energy, because there's so much negativity in the world. And I realize there will be times in any county official's life that there will be a beating or a disagreement. And I would like to ask, if you ever did have a disagreement with me on some, just please call me up. Let's talk about it. Life's too short to hold grudges. Life's too short. We're blessed to be in this great county, and we need to enjoy our neighbors and our friends. And if you have a issue with me, please just come talk to me. That's the way I want to handle it. Communication is key. Let's don't blast it all over everywhere. And but if you have a concern, because if you have that same concern, somebody else might have the same thing, just not said anything. And if it's something that I need to publicly correct, if within the office or something, I want to be able to make sure that I correct it, because, like I said, I want Grundy County to have a county clerk's office that they're proud of. And I guess just basically to answer that in a very broad perspective is just communication. Let's just sit down and talk about it. No hostility. Let's just talk about, what are your concerns? How do you feel that maybe you didn't get treated fairly? And give me an opportunity to make it right, to state my case, and to ultimately, let's just come to a consensus where we're all winners in this county.
Man, that's beautiful. It's a beating right now. It's pretty brutal. I can't wait
Yeah.
till after August 6th. I don't know about y'all.
Yes, amen.
All right, here's our final question, Nathan. Thank you so much for being so articulate in your answers. This is the final question. This is where you ask the voter, why should they vote for you, Nathan Sanders, as county clerk?
Well, I am no better than nobody else. I'm just a normal Grundy County citizen who loves this county. I love its people. And, it's been very rewarding working in the county mayor's office, because you feel like that you've made an impact, and also you've made a part of history. Your work, goes down in history and adds to the story of Grundy County. And I want to be able to add to that story on a different level. And I want to ask each and every person for their vote, their support, and their prayers. Um, Ultimately, I want to ask everyone to go vote. Friday begins our early voting, and there's lots of opportunities to go vote. It is our right to go vote. It's our privilege, and I have been an active voter, voting in most all elections. Maybe a few handful that I didn't make it to, but I just feel like that's important to have and to be active in your voting and I ask for your vote. I ask for your support. I couldn't do it by myself. I've had a great support team. I've had a few that I call my parade brigade, and my cousins, Shaylin and Samuel Morgan, Eric Andrews, Amelia Northcutt, and my buddy Jay Lankford's boy Mac. They help me in the parades, and I have one thing that has blessed me so much in this campaign is the people. You may have seen some that have done video endorsements for me. They have really touched my heart on this. And when we go to do an endorsement, and they agree to do one, I tell them, like, look, here's the way it is. This is not scripted. I'm not telling you what to say. I want you to say what you feel. I want you to say what's on your heart. Nothing more, nothing less. And I said, and I've had some of the most beautiful endorsements, and I couldn't thank those folks enough. And it truly it makes me feel like that. You know, I, I'm not perfect. I'm not got it all together, but I'm trying really hard to. And I just want to have the opportunity to serve Grundy County as their next county clerk. Um, a good way to remember. And I thought of this, Iva. We're always looking for slogans and ways to remember. If you look under the county clerk section on the ballot, my name's listed first. So I'm telling folks here as we're getting ready for early voting, I humbly ask for your vote, your support, and make me your first choice for county clerk.
Ooh, that is really good. How fun. All right, now where can they find more information about Nathan Sanders?
I'm on Facebook. I have my Elect Nathan Sanders Grundy County Clerk page. You can go back and I'm adding videos of endorsements that people give me. You can go back and look at those, look at some of my videos on my platform. You might even, all the folks that have done endorsements for me, majority are on Facebook as well. If you have any other questions, I'm sure you could send them a message. If you had a question, how they feel about me on a certain thing, and they'd be able to answer it and be willing to. So lots of information on there. I try to keep people informed about things within my campaign, and that's the way I want to handle things if I'm elected county clerk, is keep people informed.
Nice.
Because I feel like that's very important, and public interaction.
Nice. All right. Well, that wraps up Nathan Sanders' political chit chat.
Thank you.
We're going to send him out to spread joy and sunshine wherever he goes. We're going to take a quick break, thank our sponsors because we love them. We'll be right back. As always, thanks for watching Morning on the Mountain. I'll see you in a minute.